Let's move forward with another video जहाँ हम देखेंगे the walkthrough of the Azure Web App Services. So basically हम सबसे first function जो इसका use करना चाहते हैं कर रहे हैं that which is the Web App Services for the Azure. So Azure is like a commit that that if you want to host that anything that you can just host in our cloud services that which give by the Microsoft Azure. अगर आपने सब्सक्रिप्शन आपका वैलिडेट हो चुका है तो इट्स फाइन बट नहीं हुआ है तो आप पीछे वीडियोस में आप देख सकते हो मैंने गिटहब स्टूडेंट पैक से यूज कर रखा है सो लेट्स मूव with the start with this plus button that which is showing the creator resources फिर हम इसमें बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस आते हैं लाइक you know some about it like the windows is there the ubuntu server is there like okay so the gcd having the integration of that as well as the virtual machines is there the web app services so we will go into this part then after somehow we will understand some of the main core functionalities of that okay so we'll start with the documentations क्या कहती है इसकी सो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इसके बारे में हम देखते हैं कि एजोर वेब एप्स जो बेसिकली एक रेस्टफुल एपीआईज और मोबाइल बैकएंड्स और वेब एप्लीकेशंस को होस्ट करने का काम आती है ओके सो लाइक आपने बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए हुए डेट यू एनी इन कॉलेज terms for the like the you can build for the html css javascript project and if they are not if they are in a backend format then you can also host in backend in a azure web app services that see this is the probability that build a CRUD application that create your first application about app services you can just go through the about what is the app services there the app services which is included the many of the programming language right see the asp.net asp.net core java Node.js, PHP, Python. These are the some languages that which is used as a framework for that. Right? Why use app services they're showing? Okay, so the containerizations and Docker that you can also Dockerize your application to maintain all the app services into the container formats. And the most of the skills are Docker you can directly use in our app services. सो एज्योर ये भी आपको एक स्टैटिस्टिकल मेथड देता है जो आप अच्छे से यूज कर सकते हो उसको DevOps optimizations like you can just use the manually concepts that you can just take a CI/CD that which is, should be a manually. Okay, so DevOps के concepts आपको clear होने चाहिए that you can just use the DevOps services for the Azure. They are given for that. You can use as a Bitbucket, GitHub, and all for taking our data and storage. और हम बेसिकली हम गिटअप से ही फॉर एज इंस्टेंस हम देंगे पर्टिकुलर चीज फॉर होस्टिंग देयर पार्ट okay so you can just host in azure cli methods azure cli what is the azure cli method these are the command line interfaces some commands you can use for the azure services to host your web application in your terminals in your the folder where all the files is stored okay so like these are the some more common features these are like the visual code studio that directly integrated with there for the azure services right the azure services directly integrated with there java tools integration is there api and mobile features you can use the most of the features like the core support also scenario they having that you can use the custom domain systems too okay so yeah these are they having all have they included for the quick start for the deployment right see this is the azure they having sort of methods you can go हम directly manually वाला part देखिए okay we can not going to the all the things we can use as the simple GitHub that taking the data you can just go through with the Visual Studio Code as well as an Azure CLI these are the coolest feature don't go the more than this part because these are not using more a bit okay so that should be easier way you can go this part okay so yeah this is how they giving the most of the thing these all the features they are including in there like this is the authentication is there the what the authentication they are given from the all side and their apis and all okay so let's start with the simple create web app So I create first. Uh, See, this is how the panel is open after creating of the create web app. And this panel is showing is about the project details that you are going to host that part, जो आप host करना चाहते हो. और आपने सबसे पहले resources group नहीं बनाया, तो you can just click on the created resources and just write your name. uh, Cloud host. Okay, so this course is should be created. Cloud underscore course should be created. This as a resources book, and after that, the domain that you have to specify. This domain should be uniquely identified. You need to dear about it, and the domain should be concatenated with these strings. Okay, remember, like if you had used a simple cloud underscore that you. Oh, okay, so this is the small. Not using that part. Computing that using. Okay, so this is the available for that one. Okay. Okay, the runtime stack, you can just select the runtime stack with the Java, Node.js, PHP, Python that you want to go. We'll go with the Node.js. Okay. If you want to use as an operating system as a background, you can use the Windows, but I prefer the Linux because the Linux is faster, and the security purpose of that, the Linux is far better than Windows. Okay. After that, you can just select the region that you want to go with that. I select for the already selected by the Canada Central. You can just select the Canada, India, that you are Indian, that you. But I preferable to use the East Asia. This is the best for that, for the Asia's part. I think the South India is, West India is there. The Central India is also included there. If you want to go there, I just prefer for the East India. You can just. I'm not changing in this. Okay, so the this is the plan they want to give. Okay, so यहाँ पर आपको कुछ चीजें ध्यान रखना जरूरी है. Like the B1 basic plan that which is included the 100 total ACUs. I just explain in after bit. Okay, so like these are the, you can just segment the small CPUs that uses around 100 totals, and they are using to fetching and getting a request around 1.75 GB memory RAM is there, and one vCPU virtual control processing unit that which is used that part. Okay, so basic B1 that this is the pricing plan. You can just go with the plan changing that you want. Okay, so like the services plan, I think that supposed to be okay. Yeah. So this dependent on the Asia part. I just selected East Asia, then exploring, clicking on the exploring. I think they having some free version of there also, because they paying some charges. See, the as for the Indian charges, see, this is the cost for the per month INR. अब ये डिपेंड करती है कि आपकी यूजेस इतनी ही जाएगी तो अकॉर्डिंग इसका इतना चार्ज लगेगा. ओके, द बेसिक B1 ऑफ दैट, दैट यू कैन जस्ट गो टू द अबाउट दैट. वो डिपेंड करता है कि आपके वेबसाइट पे कितना ट्रैफिक है. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट यू कैन जस्ट गो अबाउट देयर पार्ट्स एज वेल एज द B1. सी, दिस इज द फ्री पार्ट. You can just use say 60 minutes a day. That this is the free and NA that don't use as a SLA. The memory storage is giving the 1 GB, and the RAM should be given by the 1 GB up there. You can also use, you can check that part as well as right. These are the taking the costs. Okay, so this cost is holding from your GitHub student pack if you are using that. So after the completing a month, they cut their cost accordingly. Okay, so the by default जो हमारा था वो as a B1 ही था. B1 is the basic for that part. ओके, सो मोस्टली वाइडली ये भी दिखाता है कि कितने जने उसको ज़्यादा यूज़ कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो ओके, सो हमारे ये था. देन हम इसके नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे मूव करते हैं जिसमें नेक्स्ट डेटाबेस का इंक्लूजन होता है. दैट इफ यू वांट टू include our database in there with the integration of this, I'm not prefer to use this because you can just use the MongoDB Atlas, the cloud services that provided. But if you want to use that part, you can. But also, see, this is the greatest thing they're providing the cache systems to. They create an Azure cache for the Redis. Okay, so this is the cache that they take in their part. Okay, so they include their all the prices accordingly. Okay, so the deployment services, the deployment that if you want to change your, I'm not using as of now. If you want to change using or enable, then you can just select your organization. You can just change your account accordingly. Authorized with your Azure Web App Services. After authorization, you can just use that. Okay. So these are the part. Authorize with your GitHub accordingly. So they get that part. You don't need to use the GitHub that which is already created from this thing. Okay, you can use any of the GitHub profile. Don't worry for that. Okay, these are the web app that inclusion for the networking. This is the public access and the network access injections is off. Okay, so monitor and secure जो आपका use cases बताएगा कि हमारे कितना monitor और क्या चल रहा है और कितनी रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है, तो ये भी आपको पॉइंट टू पॉइंट ट्रेस करके दे सकता है अच्छे से। और उसको एनहेंसिबिलिटी करने के लिए आप कुछ एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज और कुछ चीजें यूज कर सकते हो। सो दे ईच प्रोवाइडिंग ईच टू पॉइंट providing her their part. Okay, see these are the like the review. Yes, sorry. See these are the like the review of their bosses. After finishing that, you can just go to the next step. मैंने back कर दिया था अभी नोटिस है, इसे मैं select कर देता हूँ। Okay, so using the notes as LTS, Nada, V1. Next, I'm going to go to the review and create. These all thing is validating. After C, this is the validating on that. See, this is the showing that all the thing after this. Mm, okay. When you click on the create, it's created accordingly. See, when you're clicking on the create, it's taking a time to creating an initialization for the submitting and deployment. But it's not yet to be submitted. It's created instant. Okay, so after the deployment is proceeding, then you can go ahead with using their panel. You can go to the resources. This is the like the main panel that the website is hosting, and I'm showing you to the domain. Okay, fetching data. This is the panel that overviewing all the things. This is the all the details that which is hosting of that part, and what's your IP address is also read it. The outbound IP address and all. Okay, these are the deployment center is there. See, this is the domain that I preferably see that part. This is the default domain. You can use this domain for any of the website to hosting accordingly. Okay, so accordingly to you given for the API or API services accordingly slash API that routes accordingly they are using for that. Okay, this is the container that should be format and this is the web app services should be create that should create it in this way. Okay, so after creation वो हम next video में देखेंगे that the video is all about that you can just fetch your data all the datas that from the GitHub repositories or you can just upload manually and you can just use as the Azure repositories is there. to get their data, and we will going to host a single Node.js application that part. So yeah, next video is interesting. So thank you so much for watching.